How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Chimenti Lab podcast. I'm Jeff.
I'm Steven.
All right, let's get right into it.
All right, so don't mind the iPad here. I'm just going to use it for some notes. But first, let's just talk about who we are, our background, and warm up into it. So I'll go first. So as I said, I'm Steven, currently a physical therapy student, almost done, and currently in my orthopedic rotation. And, have a passion for fitness and wellness. And I really just enjoy injury prevention, and really running is my big thing right now. All things fitness, but I'm excited for this podcast and ready to just jump right in.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, so my background is in exercise physiology. So I started out my undergrad doing biology, just really fascinated about overall science, life sciences. Then I really started to work as a personal trainer, so I got very much into fitness, started working with some individuals at my college, and then I eventually wanted to progress to focusing on the science of exercise. So naturally, I gravitated towards exercise physiology. So there, during my master's in ex-phys, I focused a lot on human performance. So I ended up doing a thesis on strength and conditioning, really focused on exercise physiology, focused on athletic performance for improving sprinting, and then now I work in cardiac rehabilitation and strength and conditioning for mostly combat sports.
All right, so let's get into it. So first kind of point I wanted to talk about was like the state of fitness and wellness. So let's talk about some of the new stuff that's emerging.
Yeah.
So hybrid training. What's your take?
I love it. I think
Okay.
it's great. I think the term is loosely thrown around because now people are calling themselves hybrid athletes, but all they do is run and lift, which is basically what everybody should be doing anyway. So the term hybrid is interesting. I think everybody should train hybrid unless you're competing. So the people that compete for running marathons or ultra marathons and also compete in powerlifting or Olympic weightlifting, things like that, that's true hybrid.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, saying how everyone should be doing it, because I like the trend of hybrid training, but I do agree that it's not anything groundbreaking, because it's really what you should be doing anyways. Like, all runners should be doing strength training to prevent injuries, and all strength and focused individuals should be doing some version of endurance.
Yeah.
Because they'll just be an unhealthy bastard at that point. So I do agree that hybrid is great, but we need to understand what it truly means.
Yeah. Anybody that wants to get into fitness, they should try a few different types of exercise. They should try running if they're not used to running. They should try lifting weights if they're not used to lifting weights. And then they should just try to find a program that works for them that includes all of those things. So doing, most of their stuff low intensity, doing a lot of low intensity cardio, and then doing maybe some weightlifting 3 days a week, and then maybe once a week they start to do sprinting, and then boom, right there, you're a hybrid athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know High Rocks is trending. That's something I want to do.
Oh, I just heard about that. That was in Texas.
Yes, it's all over. I think the country. I don't know if it's international, but I like it because it combines the strength stuff. It combines the running aspect, which is really cool. It's trending. There's a lot of group fitness classes catered to High Rocks now, so I think that's really cool. And I think it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
I think as I wouldn't even want to call it trends. As fitness is evolving, more people are doing it. More people are just being more healthy. I think that this direction is probably going to be the direction of fitness, and really combining strength and endurance and just all things wellness.
Yeah.
Which we should get into, since we're talking about wellness. We should also talk about the other trend. Since we just covered hybrid, we should cover what we think of these wellness labs that keep popping up.
Yeah, well, eventually that would be the ultimate goal, I think. I like the state of fitness right now. I think that the industry is growing. There's a lot more money being pumped into it, which is great for our fields. So yeah, all these wellness labs that are focusing on things like the VO2 max, which obviously, I'm a big proponent of getting your VO2 max tested. I think it's great. So, I mean, none immediately in our area, but obviously New York City's got a ton popping up. Austin, Texas, LA, all great places so far. Yeah, that are incorporating this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool. I really wellness labs. I mean, like I guess like these bath places that I have
Oh,
like
like those,
saunas,
yeah,
salt rooms, cupping, massage. I'm like those places. I think
yeah,
they're popping up. I mean, I I don't really see the value other than entertainment and
right,
like socializing
yeah,
because like I think like a lot of gyms and whatnot should have like a little recovery
definitely,
section. I think
definitely,
that's probably the better route to go down, but like
yeah.
just a wellness place, I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah, no, the way I think about it is if you work a 9 to 5 job, or you work, even if it's just 40 plus hours a week, you know, you have other social obligations, friends, family, things like that. So I feel like the gym, just going to your standard weightlifting gym, that's where you do your cardio, you do your weights, that's enough as it is. Like having a second subscription on top of that not only is going to be expensive, but it's also going to be incredibly time consuming. So I feel like if you just combine those two,
Right, yeah.
you're already in the same place, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we see a bunch of gyms now that are implementing things like the cold plunge and the sauna.
Yeah.
The next step is going to be cupping, things like that.
Yeah.
Things like that. VO2 max, whatever.
Yes, I mean that's for sure the trends. I like the cold plunges, the saunas. I think I heard even hotel rooms are having like was it Dana White?
Dana White had one. He had it like brought up to his room. That's what I heard.
It's just becoming more and more prevalent. I personally haven't done an ice bath yet. Just the cold showers and the cold dunks. I
Yeah,
guess.
well, it's 10 degrees out
Yeah.
here. I mean, today's actually.
I think I know a lot of people. This is such a hot topic. I think that these ice baths don't have really any evidence behind it. But
no, they do.
Well,
They do.
what is it? The diver's reflex or some shit?
No, they've got like the studies that show that you're, I guess, metabolizing more brown fat in your body.
Yeah,
Which is, I mean, here's the thing. Why are you doing it? Are you going to do it to lose weight? No.
right. No.
Are you going to do it to say you did it? Probably.
Yeah.
A lot of people do the ice bath. I mean, it's great for some things, but never do it after weightlifting
No.
because it blocks that anabolic pathway
Yeah.
in your body. So if you're going to do it at 6 o'clock in the morning before you lift.
Yeah, I like it as a more mental thing.
Yeah.
Wake up, ice bath or whatever. If it feels good.
Yeah.
But like it's not like people are saying like
I
it's
like
like
it,
the
though.
next best thing. It's good, but again, just like the hybrid
Yeah.
training, you gotta know a little bit, educate
Yeah.
a little bit what it is. I personally would probably use it just for mental toughness.
Yeah,
Like,
my
it's
rule
great.
is focus on 95% of, I don't want to say the problem, I used to say 95% of the problem, but 95% of like what you're trying to accomplish. Going to bed early or going to bed on time, that's the hard thing to do. Most people can't do that. Getting in all of your meals being perfect, that's nearly
Yeah.
impossible. One sauna session a week or even like 3 sauna sessions a week when you have a bad diet or if you're not sleeping well, it's not going to do anything.
No, yeah.
So focus on 95% of the stuff. Go to the
Yeah.
gym, that's easy.
Yep.
Run, that's easy. Lift weights, that's easy. Go to bed on time, not as easy.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yep.
And then you can implement the sauna, the cold plunge, the cupping, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta know where everyone's at in their fitness journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the little things that probably definitely matter a lot.
Yeah, like would you recommend someone does cupping if they don't stretch after their workouts at all? Or like I'm just using
Yeah.
cupping as an example, but like
Yeah.
people say like warm up. Most people don't warm up.
Right.
And then you lift or you run or both.
I see your point.
You know what I mean?
It's like why jump to step 5 when you need step 1?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I know. I totally
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
Fundamentals.
Like who knows? Like stretching, another hot topic, but I get your point. Focus on the basics,
yeah,
and then introduce the advanced.
right.
So that's
Or
I agree
nail
with
the
that.
basics. Get those down.
Yeah. So funny you should mention like that because I think that's kind of like the next topic that I had written down here. So I wanted to talk about individual like patients that we see and common themes. So you were just asking me like, oh, like some patients don't warm up or they're jumping to cupping when they're not stretching. But let's talk individually. Like, what do you see commonly that some people should be doing?
Yeah, so as you know, I work predominantly with combat sport athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So in this world, they train really hard
Mm-hmm.
for a really long period of time. They don't take a lot of breaks. They're coming to people like you, and they're not taking time off, even though they're
Mm-hmm.
very injured. I mean, so to answer your question, they're not, I mean, for them specifically, they're not spending any time recovering, so it's altering their next training session.
Yeah. Yep, I like that.
That's the thing I see a lot.
They train too hard.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Or they train everything all at once,
Oh, yeah.
and then they're not ready for the next training session. Like,
Yeah.
I like to break things down, like you've seen my programs.
Yeah.
I periodize everything based on, when they're competing.
Mm-hmm.
If you train everything all at once, like you do a very high intensity session, followed by a low intensity session, followed by like weight training, varying loads and things like that. Like you're doing a lot all at once, and you're not getting the adaptation that you're trying to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And then it leaves you fatigued a lot of times.
Just paralleling that with running. I noticed this with like the Garmin. I was using it as like a coach.
Yeah.
It would always like have me do a workout, and I always finished the workout like I could be doing a lot more.
Right.
But what I really liked about that was it enabled me to run the next session the next day very comfortably.
Right.
So I really like that, like not always like pushing your limit because like in the gym going to failure.
Right.
I like going to failure. But if you go to like failure on the workout itself, that may be a problem because like if you blast it all in that session, then tomorrow you can't work out. That's terrible. Like for running,
Yeah.
it's better to just get let's say a mile in, and then tomorrow doing another mile.
Yeah.
Because then over a week you just got 7 miles. When let's say you just do 4 miles hard, and then that's it for the week.
Yeah.
So that's not the way.
Yeah, if you're not conditioned well and you try to go too hard too quickly, you're absolutely going to be affecting the next training session.
Yeah.
So your overall volume is going to be lower.
Yeah.
So if you run 5 miles on
Yeah.
day 1 and now you're too fatigued to run anything on day 2,
Yeah.
versus running, let's say 2 miles on day 1, then 2 miles again,
Yeah.
then 2 miles again, now you're at 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
That's like the marathon programming. It has you like gradually build into it.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
can't just
smart.
jump to the miles.
Definitely smart. There's a time and a place for going all out. Like I like to say, when you're preparing for a competition, that's where you reduce volume but increase intensity. So if people really want to train hard, you can do exercises at over 90% your 1 rep max for lifting, or highly anaerobic sprints, or plyometrics, things like that, closer to the date of your competition if that's what your sport demands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
No,
good.
I think that's an interesting point. Yeah.
But I like what you're saying about the Garmin. So what fitness trackers do you use, and what do you like?
So that was on here
is
too.
that on
Like
there?
just like advancements in tech in the field. So yeah, let's get into that. So from a physical therapy standpoint, and this is something I want to introduce way down the line when I more than likely open up my own place. So I saw somewhere some other guy I follow. He's a PT clinic, and he had this like advanced camera system. I'll link it in the podcast or whatever. I'll pop it on the screen, whatever. It was able to analyze your joints
Okay.
and measure them.
Nice.
So like it would measure you, like let's say you do a squat, it would measure all the angles, hip, knee flexion, whatever.
I've seen that. I've seen
And
stuff
it was
like
really
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Advanced. And then it was another one. It was like it like scanned your body and then just analyzed your posture. It was like, do you have forward head posture? Are you overly kyphotic? All things like that.
That's
And
cool.
I was like, oh, that's really cool tech. And I'm sure it uses AI,
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
nice.
one piece of tech that I would like to look into, but I saw. So what about you?
Yeah, I'm using a lot. I'm using a ton. So anybody that works with me for strength and conditioning, they're going to get all their programs through Team Builder. So anybody that I'm working with, whether that be doing weight cuts, doing competition prep for MMA or whatever, everybody's going to use Team Builder. So they're automatically going to get their programs delivered to them on the phone automatically. So that syncs up with the computer. They can log in on the computer. They can log in, I think, on their watch if they really wanted to. So when I write them a program, or I do this for myself, I have myself listed as an athlete, I'm able to look on my phone, see the program that I'm doing for that day. So today, for example, I did my Norwegian 4x4, and I have it on Team Builder. So I do 4 minute sessions in zone 5. So for 4 minutes straight, I'm in zone 5, and then on Team Builder, I have a rest interval already ready to go. So I just click this. I click a button, and it starts a 3-minute timer, and then it records, my heart rate in there, and then all that data gets sent to, the cloud. So all the athletes I'm working with, when they're, doing, let's say it's weightlifting, they can type a weight in, they can type the reps in for the program. I get the data automatically. So that's one thing I'm using now. Apple Watch Ultra 2, it's been amazing so far. I just got this. This has been great. Polar H10 chest strap has been excellent for heart rate data. But most recently, I'm doing the VO2 max testing with the VO2 Master analyzer. So all the VO2 max testing can be done on this unit, and it's been phenomenal because it's a mobile testing unit. So I'm able to test people either in their house or at their own gym. I could use an air bike, stationary bike, treadmill, rowing machine, you name it. That system has been great for that. Yeah, so utilizing all those different things has been really helpful. Now I'm actually just starting to get into red light therapy as well. So something
great.
something like that's going to be nice once I start to use it a little bit more.
That's awesome. Another topic I wanted to talk about on here. So let's get into some longevity stuff.
Ooh, my favorite.
So as you know, I follow Brian Johnson. I mean, I started out, I really liked him.
You met him.
I did meet him. He was very cool, very nice. A little bit like woo-woo. He did our huddle.
Okay.
I talked to him.
Cool guy.
He was okay.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. He started off, and I followed him really early on. He had honestly like 10,000 followers, whatever. Now he's 800, maybe 1 million now.
Wow.
Insane growth. So obviously he has a lot of money. He has the teams to market and do everything. So he was able to grow quick.
Yeah.
And he just was already set up to do well. Here's the thing I don't like. He set out with like this mission of like posting all his data and whatnot. And I don't know if he realized it or maybe he realized it in the moment or had his plan all along, but he has a lot of products.
Yeah.
And he's selling and he is banking. So I don't know if this whole thing was like just
like a ploy.
I think it's to make some money. I don't know. I really like what he's doing. He's traveling. I'll tell you what I like. I really like how he's traveling to other countries and he's spreading the health word to everyone. He's making health cool.
Yeah.
I love that. However, when money's involved and products are involved, it just, I'm just like, interesting. Because I'm like, is he doing it for money? We don't know. But from a longevity standpoint, getting back on topic, what he is doing, it's great. All the aesthetic stuff may be a little like dicey because like obviously like you could do a ton of plastic surgery and then like look really young but still like you're not healthy.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's that. I think he's pretty natural in that sense, but overall like longevity, I think he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
I think to summarize, diet, exercise, sleep, he's nailed.
Yeah.
And he's done the whole 9 yards. He has the best sleep setup, dark room, humidifier, eye mask, the bed, the 8 sleep.
Oh yeah.
He's got
Love
everything. He's vegan by choice. He says
Okay.
you could do meat. He just does a lot of veggies, and then exercise. That's what I told him. He's okay with exercise. He's anything crazy.
Yeah.
He does it. He does his zone 2s. He does his high intensity. But
Right.
that's my grasp on longevity right now.
Yeah.
Let's hear yours.
So I like anybody that brings awareness
Yes.
to the fact that you should do something actively throughout your life or throughout your day to increase your lifespan or your health span, according to Peter Attia. So I like Peter Attia. Peter Attia is my longevity guy. He's got an amazing book which I read. I pre-ordered it probably in 2 days. So he differentiates lifespan and health span pretty well in the book, but bringing awareness to it is good. So anybody, even if they're wrong with the approach, so, Brian Johnson may be trying to make a few extra bucks doing that. Honestly,
Hey, that's fine.
whatever. we all like money.
Yeah.
You got to make some money.
Yeah.
If he's bringing awareness to it and he's trying to get people involved in exercising, watching their sleep, their diet, whatever, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I haven't met him. I think he's had some work done. That's okay. He's
Yeah.
still a good-looking guy for, how old is he? 50?
That's a loaded question.
That is a load. Yeah.
But
How much?
He's
so-
48.
That's really
I think.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He looks great.
His lungs I know are 18 now or something like that.
See, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Because I work with some pulmonary patients.
Actually, not lungs. Lungs are not lungs, but
Okay.
like
His biological age.
but yeah, fitness age or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do what he does, you're gonna live longer. If
Yeah.
you do half of what he does, you're gonna live longer.
Right.
That's fine.
Nail the basics. Let's go over basics. We said sleep,
Yeah.
diet, exercise.
Uh-huh.
Is there any other basics you think?
Sleep,
Like
I
mental
mean,
health?
Yeah,
I
mental
guess
health for sure.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
What other pillars? Let's hit like main points. So sleep. Like we don't have to go into the weeds, but let's talk about sleep real quick. So
Okay.
7 to 8 hours.
Yeah, 7 to 8, it depends.
Yeah.
So according to, Dr. Matthew Walker,
Okay.
have you seen that
Yeah,
guy?
I know.
He's got a book called Why We Sleep, pretty good. He's like 9 to 10 hours.
Okay, that's not possible.
It's not
for a
possible.
lot of people.
I got 7 yesterday,
Yeah.
according to my
My
watch.
body doesn't even let me do that,
Yeah.
and that's not gonna happen.
And I'm trying. I try to get good sleep. It's hard.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on,
Yeah,
but sleep is important.
sleep's good. So let's say 7 to 8.5.
Okay.
Dark room.
Definitely dark.
Actually, real quick,
Yeah.
Brian Johnson has a really good sleep protocol where he's like, first step is like identify as a professional sleeper. It's kind of cheesy, but it's a good way of saying like take sleep seriously.
Yeah.
And he has a whole checklist. I'll put that in the podcast notes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's your job.
Yeah, so that's sleep. Get good sleep and
Yeah.
check the checklist. All right, exercise.
Mm-hmm.
What else for exercise?
Well, for sleep, I would also say, what did I get you for Christmas?
A lot of things. What for
Nasal strips.
nasal strips? Oh, yeah,
That's my
Yeah.
favorite thing to use.
yeah.
So good, breathing mechanics at night, important.
Mm-hmm.
Cold room.
Yep, colds. Yep.
So typically like mid 60s.
Mm-hmm.
You got to drop your core body temperature
Yeah.
in order to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So they actually say, it sounds counterintuitive, but they say to take a hot shower before bed.
Yes, no, I like that. Yep,
Sleep
I do that.
semi-nude. They say
Mhm.
that. So hot shower will drop your body temperature. Dark room, nasal strips. I don't know, good sheets.
Yeah,
Things like that.
good. All right, we got that covered. Exercise.
Yeah.
Brian's got another thing on that.
For longevity, are we talking exercise for longevity or
Right, I know,
performance?
because that's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
So, I mean, let's cater. Who do we want to cater to?
If you're saying everybody, then it would be longevity. But you could do a little
Right.
bit of both. Like my training style,
Yeah.
personally, is for longevity and performance.
Yeah, I think it's all under the same category. Obviously,
Yeah.
sports specific. What other?
Yeah.
What
I mean, I would say
yeah.
you should absolutely exercise often. Like that. I
Yeah.
know that sounds pretty self-explanatory, but daily exercise.
Yes.
3 hours minimum a week of low-intensity cardio.
Yeah. So I think like Brian's got like I think it's like I forget the numbers because like the numbers are different, but in terms of percentages, it's just like bulk is moderate,
Right.
some low, some high.
Okay. See, I would say bulk low, and then some moderate, and then some high. That's what I would say.
Maybe honestly, well I know bulk was zone 2,
Okay.
so
So that's low. I would say that's low.
okay. So then some mod and some high.
Yeah.
Again, podcast notes on that one. He's got a lot of good resources, which is great.
Yeah. I like the lower intensity stuff. That's your aerobic base. If you want to build up if you think of your cardio as a pyramid, VO2 max is the top, zone 2 is the base. You want
Yeah.
a big base so you can build a high peak.
Yeah.
So, good amount of zone 2, 3 hours minimum per week. And then I like to do 2 high-intensity training sessions a week. I like this just to start out for people. So if I have an athlete and they only do high-intensity like pad work, and they haven't done like high-intensity treadmill running for more than 10 minutes, I'll have them do this. I like doing the Norwegian 4x4, where you're doing 16 hard minutes in zone 5. If you don't have either an Apple Watch, probably the Ultra. I think the Ultra does it. I don't know if the other ones do it. Or I recommend the Polar, the H10. They have an amazing way to visualize the amount of time you're in each zone. So you want to do, like, they usually say to do 4 minutes at the highest intensity you can maintain. If you don't visualize your heart rate, you don't exactly know how hard you're pushing.
I agree. Yeah, I
So,
like that
yeah.
because sometimes when I'm on the bike, it's
Yeah,
like
it's easy to like you can be in zone 4 like after, like, you can go in zone 5 and then you can come down a little
yes,
bit.
it's nice to be able to
You
see
got to
it.
visualize it. So I try, and when you have the Polar or the Ultra, the Apple Watch Ultra, you can see the actual amount of seconds and minutes you're
Yeah.
in each zone.
That's
So
great.
I go hard. Like today, for example, I was doing, maybe it was like my second or third like interval attempt. I did like 350 watts on the air bike to get my heart rate back up. I'm going really hard. I probably did 350 watts for like 30 seconds straight.
Right.
And after those 30 or 35 seconds, I then broke through the threshold into zone 5. And that's where I start the timer.
Yeah.
So even though I'm going hard for 30, 35 seconds,
I know.
I don't start the timer until I hit zone 5.
Yeah.
And then I do 4 minutes there.
Yeah.
So you do 4 minutes on,
Yes.
3 minutes off.
Yep.
Repeat that 4 times.
Yeah.
Do that once a week. Took me half an hour today.
Yeah. No.
So I do that, and then also during the week I do a max heart rate attempt. So I touch my max heart rate at least once a week, and then everything else is just zone 2.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know we said we wouldn't go into the weeds, but that I think covers it.
Covers it.
So this was the chart. I will pop it up on the screen. So it is moderate mostly.
Okay.
Some light, so like probably walking, and then this is probably just some easy bikes.
Yeah.
And then vigorous, obviously some, high intensity
Right.
work. So that was that.
Okay.
We'll get into some closing stuff. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me at dr.stephenchimenti. And then for you?
Follow our podcast, Chimenti.lab, on Instagram. You can also follow me at jeff.getfunctional on Instagram. Check out my strength and conditioning page if you're interested in working with me. You can follow Functional Aesthetics on our website. Just go to getfunctional.info to learn a little bit more. All right. Thank you for
See you in
watching.
the next one.
Thanks.